Hey guys, welcome to Nightmare Narrative Channel. Today's video is about 3 true scariest stories that can send a shiver down your spine. So make sure to watch it with your family or friends. Grab your popcorn and drink. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for further videos. Number 1. I work at a pub about 15 miles from my home and often get off late at night, usually around 1 or 2 a.m. This means making an exhausted drive back home through a dark, winding forest. Recently, roadworks on my usual route have forced me to take a detour through the woods, and I hate it. The trees overhang the road. There's one particular corner that always sends my heart racing. It's a sharp, steep turn followed by a long, dark straight where the road disappears into the forest. One night, as I rounded the corner, my headlights caught the reflection of a hare's eyes in a small clearing. I slammed on the brakes, but the hare just sat there, watching me pass. It was unsettling. Now, every time I drive through that forest, I am on edge. On another late-night drive, I noticed something odd drawn on the road, a large chalk eye, open. As I passed over it, a second chalk eye, closed, appeared. Nervously, I convinced myself it was just kids playing a prank. But then, as I approached the clearing, I saw a figure dressed in black, standing completely still. I sped up, terrified, as the figure vanished into the darkness. I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Each night, I would pass the same tree, see the same chalk eyes, and spot the figure again. It felt like I was trapped in a loop. One night, I saw the figure move towards my car in the rearview mirror, and I panicked, driving faster. The loop continued. The long straight, the twisted tree, the chalk eyes, and the figure in the clearing. Desperate, I tried driving back the other way, but it didn't help. The same loop, the same figure, always appearing behind me. I realized the chalk eyes might be a clue. The first eye was open, and the second was closed. Maybe closing my eyes would break the loop. I took a deep breath, shut my eyes tight, and drove blindly. Slowly, carefully, I navigated the turns, relying on memory and the car's proximity sensors. When I finally opened my eyes, the forest had thinned, and the road ahead was clear. I shouted in relief, but then I saw the figure standing right behind my car. Panicked, I sped away, never looking back. For weeks, I took a longer route home, avoiding the forest. I had trouble sleeping, haunted by nightmares of breaking down in the woods. In the dream, I would leave my car, get lost, and find myself drawing the chalk eyes on the road, waiting for my own car to come by. The figure, shifting and shimmering, would always be there, watching. Even now, I avoid that road. The memory of the hooded figure standing at the forest's edge, disappearing into the shadows, haunts me. I'll never forget the terror I felt, knowing something out there in the darkness is still waiting for me. Number 2, Elderwood Manor had stood for centuries, its ivy-covered walls bearing silent witness to the passage of time. Nestled deep within the forest, it was a relic of a bygone era, shrouded in mystery and whispered legends. No one had lived there for decades, and the villagers spoke of it only in hushed tones, fearful of awakening whatever ancient spirits might dwell within. One crisp autumn evening, a young historian named Claire decided to explore the manor. Driven by curiosity and a fascination with the paranormal, she wanted to uncover the truth behind the eerie tales that surrounded the old estate. Armed with her camera, a flashlight, and a notebook, Claire made her way through the dense woods, her heart pounding with anticipation. The manor loomed ahead, its silhouette stark against the fading twilight. As she approached, Claire felt a chill in the air, a sudden drop in temperature that made her shiver. Pushing open the creaky front door, she stepped inside, her footsteps echoing through the vast empty halls. Dust motes danced in the beam of her flashlight as she made her way through the grand foyer. Portraits of long-dead ancestors lined the walls, their eyes seeming to follow her every move. Claire couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, but she pressed on, determined to document her findings. The first few rooms yielded nothing more than cobwebs and decaying furniture. But as she entered the library, Claire felt a palpable shift in the atmosphere. The air was heavy, oppressive, and she could almost hear the faint whispers of voices long gone. She scanned the room with her flashlight, the beam coming to rest on a large, ornate mirror above the fireplace. Drawn to the mirror, Claire stepped closer, her reflection staring back at her. Suddenly, the glass seemed to ripple, and for a brief moment, she saw another figure standing behind her. Spinning around, she found herself alone, the room as empty as it had been moments before. Her heart raced, but her resolve only strengthened. She had to know more. Claire continued her exploration, ascending the grand staircase to the second floor. As she reached the landing, she noticed a door slightly ajar at the end of the hallway. Taking a deep breath, she approached and pushed it open, revealing a bedroom frozen in time. The bed was neatly made, and personal items were scattered about, as if the occupants had left in a hurry. On the bedside table, she found an old, leather-bound journal. Claire opened it carefully, the pages brittle with age. The entries were written in a delicate, flowing script, detailing the lives of the manor's last inhabitants, the Grayson family. As she read, a tragic story unfolded. The family had been plagued by illness and misfortune, culminating in the mysterious disappearance of their youngest daughter, Eleanor. According to the journal, Eleanor had been a gifted child, sensitive to the spiritual world. She often spoke of a shadow man who visited her at night, a dark figure who filled her dreams with terror. The family had tried to protect her, but their efforts were in vain. One stormy night, Eleanor vanished without a trace, leaving behind only her beloved doll. As Claire finished reading, a sense of dread settled over her. The room grew colder, and she could feel a presence watching her. She turned slowly, her flashlight revealing a small, tattered doll, sitting in a chair by the window. The doll's eyes seemed to glimmer in the dim light, and Claire could almost hear the echoes of a child's laughter. A sudden gust of wind blew through the room, slamming the door shut and plunging her into darkness. Panic set in as she fumbled for her flashlight, her hands trembling. When she finally managed to turn it on, she was horrified to see the figure of a little girl standing in the corner, her eyes wide with fear. "Eleanor?" Claire whispered, her voice barely audible. The girl nodded, tears streaming down her ghostly cheeks. She pointed to the mirror on the wall, and Claire understood. The shadow man was still here, trapped within the mirror's reflection. Summoning all her courage, Claire approached the mirror and placed her hand on the glass. It was ice cold to the touch, and she felt a powerful force pulling her in. With a final desperate effort, Claire smashed the mirror, the glass shattering into 1,000 pieces. The room was instantly flooded with light, and the oppressive presence vanished. Eleanor's spirit smiled, her form gradually fading until she was no more. Claire left Elderwood Manor that night, her heart heavy but her spirit at peace. She knew she had freed the young girl from her torment, allowing her to finally rest. As she walked away from the manor, she glanced back one last time, the once menacing structure now bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight. The haunting was over, but the story of Elderwood Manor would live on, a testament to the enduring power of love and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. Number 3. Was it something I imagined, or was there something tangible that I saw living, adjusting to an old, abandoned two-story house that had formerly been a boarding house or hotel, where it all started when I was around 10 years old? I saw only one family move into the house the entire time we lived close by, and they left quickly. The house had been deserted for years by the time of the incident I am narrating. I went outside one evening at night to feed my dog, Rowdy. Usually he would run to me, but this time he was standing growling, facing the deserted home. I felt a shiver down my spine at his response. I turned to look at the home, and one of the second-story windows, I saw a tall, skinny man peering back at me. The creature had a pale complexion, thin features, and reddish-purple eyes that gave off an unsettling impression. I thought for a few seconds that I saw them blink. I ran home and told my father, but I had not bothered to include the part about the eyeballs because I wasn't sure if I had actually seen them. My dad was worried and called the police, who looked into it, but couldn't find any signs that the residence had been occupied recently. To my annoyance, they wrote it off as the hallucination of a 16-year-old or reflection from my car passing. Curiosity over my apprehension, and I ultimately plugged up the bravery to look into the house for myself. The back door stood ajar, and it was presently vacant. There were indications that someone had been squatting there. I made my way upstairs to the room that was visible through the window where the figure was. Despite my overwhelming feeling of dread, I persisted. I attempted to explain away that what I thought was a reflection by looking out the window, but a fleeting glimpse of the figure in the light of day broke that delusion. I had persistent nightmares about this encounter for years. I can still clearly remember every aspect of the spectral apparition, which begs the question, was this all in my head, or did I actually come across something paranormal? That's it for today, guys. Hope you liked our video. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. If you have any horror incidents that you would like to share, email us. You will get the link in the description. Comment down below which horror story we should cover next.